Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the series finale, not series finale, what am I talking about? The season finale of Westworld. So, the season finale was last night, and this was an episode that honestly I think that you need to watch twice in order to really get it, because it's just like so freaking crazy. There's so many different things going on. There's so many different elements to this show. Kind of like, what? And like, honestly, at the end of the episode, I'm just looking at the show like, wait, what? Like, it's just insane. So basically, the big mystery of the show is that Dr. Ford has been working this whole entire time on this new narrative, in which we know, if you watch the show, the narratives are like the little storylines in which all the characters play or whatever. And each character has a different narrative to make the park exciting for the guests to come into. So Dr. Ford has been working on this new narrative. He has all these new employees coming in, and they pretty much voted him out, so they want him to retire, which obviously he probably, speculated, which is why he came up with this new narrative anyway. So the new narrative is that basically the hosts have more control. And I just want to throw in there that if I did not interpret the show the way that you interpreted the show, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to give my recap and review on how I interpreted the show, because it is one of those shows where it's like everybody might not interpret it the same way. So if you don't like what I got to say, I'm sorry, but this is just my interpretation of it. So, yeah. The new narrative is that basically the hosts have control over what it is that they can do. They have more control over what it is that they can do. And what is that control leading them to? A killing spree. So the first season, they said, was all about control, and the second season is going to be all about chaos. So not sure when the second season is supposed to come out, but I'm trying to think like what's going to happen in the second season now that Miss Lady, Evan Rachel Wood's Dolores, has unlocked her subconsciousness or whatever to be able to kill people like real humans, because the way in which the show is written is that the hosts were never supposed to, or never able rather, to kill real humans that are inside the park. Obviously all that is out the window, and we kind of learn how she was able to go about this because of the way in which Arnold taught her how to do it, and he did that so that she could kill him in order for him to find peace about his son's death, and to be reunited with him, and so that she would never have to suffer for losing him. That part was kind of like, what? And the whole theme song of the show is like some type of lullaby that Arnold would play for Bernard in order for him to go to sleep, because he had a cancer and all that. So he played that, and somehow that song released Dolores and gave her a capability in order to tap into her subconsciousness to become more human-like, in order for her to kill him. So that was my take on it. It's a little bit of a mouthful, because it's just kind of like, okay, wait, what? But yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Like, he created that whole thing, and she had to, like, he buried that little game piece that his son used to play with, that looks like the maze, that everyone's like so crazy hot in the pants for trying to get. Everyone's pretty much looking for this thing throughout the whole series, and then they finally find it, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a map of the brain and the person leading into their consciousness. Yeah, it gets a little crazy, but it was a good episode. All in all, I liked it. Like I said, it ended with, the stories kind of aligning with Dr. Ford, pretty much having to... his other employees that he had hired with had pretty much forced him to step down, and while he was stepping down making that speech, because they're having some type of gala where they're revealing the new narrative at the event, Not that narrative. It was like a one to distract everybody. Something about a love story. That part didn't really make sense to me. I'll be honest and say I was a little confused because I was just kind of like, okay, they at this beach. How is this the narrative? But anyway, Dr. Ford created that type of narrative just to kind of scare everybody off and just kind of make everybody feel like, you know, to pretty much throw everybody off. So the real narrative is giving the hosts control over their lives and helping them to make decisions. And Dolores ends up killing him in the back while he's making a speech about how great it's been and da 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 da. And she pretty much kills him, shoots him in the head. And of course all the humans go crazy because the hosts are, you know, out of whack. Oh, there was another big thing I forgot to tell y'all. So y'all remember, what's his name? The man in black that Dolores has been running around with. Turns out, what was his name at the end? William, I think it was. I want to say it's William. If I'm not, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. But that was another big thing. So, the man in black has like been in love, you know. The man in black is William basically. And we know William is a guy that Dolores is supposedly in love with, you know, this human character. And he's like so in love with her. He came to the park to just kind of pretty much sow his wild oats and find himself before getting married. And he ends up finding himself because of Dolores and all these wild adventures through the Westworld theme park. And he pretty much goes back there year after year or however long he comes back, trying to see if Dolores will remember him. And of course she doesn't, because she's always being reset. But yeah, William is the man in black, y'all. Like, I was like, what? Okay, I did not see that coming. Like, there were a couple of different things in this episode that were really just kind of revealed. So I'm sorry if this recap or review is just kind of all over the place, but the episode was all over the place. So I'm like trying to keep up with everything that went down. So yeah, that happened. What else? Oh, Maeve, I think that's her name. Her storyline also kind of got tapped into this episode. They pretty much, I will be, you know, one thing I would say about the Westworld series is that they managed to wrap up everything pretty nicely in a way that was easy to semi-follow. Like, they wrapped stuff up, they didn't drag stuff out. So they went to each, you know, storyline or whatever that they've been going through throughout the season, just to kind of give us a little bit closure before heading into season 2. So with Maeve's whole thing, you know, she's trying to escape. She's recruited 2 cons from the park to kind of help her, 2 con hosts to help her with this escape. You know, old dude that she, you know, always kicking it with. And then the snake lady, the lady with the blonde lady with the snake tattoo on her back. She's recruited her as well as him to kind of help out. So that's pretty much the army that she's built. And she does manage to escape and just like kind of get through the section of her park and into like the truck. And the guy that has been helping her, don't know his name, he gives her like a piece of paper with her daughter's information on it, like where she is in the park. And, you know, she's trying to act so strong that, you know, she doesn't really care about her daughter. But because Dr. Ford has instilled this new narrative in all of the hosts that they can make their choices, she ends up getting off the train instead of going straight out to freedom. She ends up going at the train to go to the section to find her daughter. So that her segment pretty much ends with that. And all the lights and everything at that train stop turns off. So we won't know what happened with that till next season. Yeah, so that was that. What else? I'm trying to think of what else happened in this episode, because like I said, it was a lot. Oh, one more thing with Mae. They were pretty much saying that, well, she ended up reviving Bernard, which we know is, you know, Arnold's, he's remade basically in the image of Arnold. He was basically rebuild or rebuilt or whatever. He was he was awakened. I guess that's the word. He was awakened by Maeve and her crew, her little army or whatever. So he was like going into the system, you know, reading things off, and he pretty much said that Maeve escaping was a part of her new programming. He talks about how she's going to get on the train and blah, 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 blah. He pretty much stops right there because I guess he wanted her to know that she would still be in control, but she's like, no, this is my, you know, stuff, da da da, I'm living out of my free will, and da 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 da. But see, I think with everything that I've just said regarding this whole recap, I think that Dr. Ford, you know, created this whole narrative. My husband thought something else, but I think that Dr. Ford created this whole narrative, and basically the hosts have been reprogrammed with the new choice narrative or whatever, and they can make their own decisions about things. But they're still not really human. They're still not really human. I think that they're just kind of operating on a human level or something, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just kind of feel like Dr. Ford has programmed them to now kill people with this new narrative that he's created, and they're gonna somehow get out into the rest of the world aside from the park, and they're gonna go around killing people. They said that season 2, HBO said that season 2 is the theme, overall theme of it is chaos. So with that type of, you know, setup in mind, we can already envision that it's going to be crazy. So I don't know what's going to happen in season 2. Like I said, I think it's going to be a bunch of, it's pretty much going to be like a killing spree. The hosts are going to pretty much figure out that they don't have to do the same narrative every day, and they could decide whether they want to do that narrative or they want to do a different one, and they're going to go around killing people. And obviously with all the humans being killed at the park, the security guards, all the guests, you know, whatever, nobody's going to want to go to this park anymore. And of course Dr. Ford don't care anymore because he's dead, and you know, the park is pretty much I mean, it just don't matter. He's dead, so why does he care what's gonna happen to the park after he's dead? He had old girl programmed to shoot him. So I don't know. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm definitely gonna watch the episode again because, like I said, if there was something that I missed, you know, or whatever, and I interpreted it differently, you know, I don't know. It's just a crazy show. Let me know what y'all thought about the season finale. It's a good show. Like, there's nothing like it else on TV. You know, it's got that going for it. So, overall, I give the season finale like an A+ because it was good. It was entertaining, and it did reveal a couple of things that, you know, we all wanted to know about. But there's still a lot of answers that need to be answered, or still a lot of questions rather that need to be answered. So hopefully we'll see that in season 2. So yeah. Alright guys, so that is pretty much my recap review. Let me know your thoughts on the season finale in the comments below, and I will talk to y'all in the next one. Ciao.